participants. Okay, hello, good afternoon to all participants. Welcome to our conference. All right, before we officially open to our conference, I would like to interact a little bit with everyone here. So maybe you can answer my question by right below to your answer. Now, I wanted to ask to all participants here that how are you feeling today? You may write your answer below on the chat box. You might answer like, I'm feeling happy, or I'm feeling sad, or maybe you feel excellent, excited. You might answer on the chat box below. Okay. Please, to all participants, maybe you can listen to me. I wanted to know that to all participants here, that how are you feeling today? How are you feeling today? You may be feeling happy, you may be feeling excited, or you might feeling sad. Okay, some people answer my question. Okay, feel happy, feel so excited. Okay, okay, all right. How about everyone? What are you feeling today? Okay, okay. The most people here feeling so happy. Thank you very much. Feeling happy. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, now I want to know that where are you from? Maybe you are from Java, Sumatra, Sulawesi, or maybe you are from another country. You might answer my question below on the chat box. Okay, let's see Sulawesi. Okay, how about another people? Sulawesi Selatan. Okay, all right. I'm from Sulawesi Selatan. Okay, okay. Participants, we are here from such as country and such as place in Indonesia. Oh, okay. Sulawesi Selatan. Let's see. There's people from another place, such as Sumatra. Okay, from Sulawesi Selatan. Okay, thank you very much for the answer. Okay, to all participants, please kindly take attention of our housekeeping rules today. So in our conference, we are housekeeping. So that housekeeping is make sure that our Zoom meeting is kindly good and nicely. And first, our housekeeping is the number one, change your name, your Zoom name, such as country, underscore register name. Okay, example Malaysia underscore Rina. Okay, maybe such as Walfika, you can write like Indonesia underscore Wafika. Yes, example like that. Please write your name such as country underscore register name. Okay. Secondly, turn on your camera because we would love to see your face on the Zoom. After that, mute your audio, be active and interact, and you can reach us Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Excellencies, distinguished guests, participants, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
May peace be upon us. Good afternoon, and we are delighted to welcome you to the first international conference on language, linguistic, culture, and education, ICLLE, with them Challenges and Explanations in Language, Linguistic, Culture, and Education during the Post-Pandemic Era. Today, October 30, 2022. I'm Fafifa Darwis. The Master of Ceremony of this conference will be guide you until the end of the session. The Honorable George Chairman of the Newbin Smart Makassar Foundation, Prof. Dr. Haja Rohana, SPD, MPD, and all distinguished presenters, participants, ladies and gentlemen. This conference provides a great opportunity for prospective participants to share their recent theoretical knowledge, research, findings, and experience in dealing with sustainable information on language, linguistic, culture, and education. This conference was attended by participants from several countries and regions in Indonesia. Excellencies, participants, ladies and gentlemen, we would like you to listen International Anthem of Republic Indonesia, Indonesia Raya. Okay, Excellencies, participants, ladies and gentlemen. Now we are going to have first agenda is the opening speech delivered by dear chairman of the Newbin Smart Makassar Foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Prof. Dr. Haja Rohana, SPD, MPD. To Prof. Dr. Haja Rohana, SPD, MPD. Are you here? Okay, we will wait for Prof. Dr. Haja Rohana, SPD, MPD. Here, I want to kindly remind to all participants to keep housekeeping rules, such as change your Zoom name, turn on your camera, mute your audio, be active and interact, and reach us. Okay, to Prof. Dr. Haja Rohana, SPD, MPD, to our dear chairman, are you here?
I think it's we need 5 minutes maybe because he can't join it.
Okay.
Okay, we wait about 30 minutes.
Okay. Thank you very much for Miss Fitra Shamsuddin. Okay, we will wait for our chairman. So I want to kindly remind to all participants here that maybe who still not change their name. Please change your name, such as country, underscore, register name. Example, Malaysia, underscore, Rina. Okay. Hopefully, the participants can understand. Please change your name, such as country, underscore, register name. Example, Malaysia, underscore, Rina. And hopefully that participants kindly turn on your camera because we would love to see your face in the Zoom. And please to keep mute your audio and then be active and interact. And maybe for the participant who have technical issues or difficulties regarding the session, you might reach us on the text box. Okay, we will wait for Prof. Dr. Haja Rohana. Maybe there's some technical issues.
So
Okay.
sorry, I think
Yes.
Ibu Rohana have another room. I mean, like
okay.
we have like 2 room. I don't know why.
Okay.
Is that
okay?
she
talking
talking there?
Oh.
Yeah, so
okay.
we don't really. Oh, and we don't have you there. So I don't know what.
Okay, thank you very much for the information, Miss. Okay, I think there is technical issues. So apologies to participants. Please keep wait on this room. We will kindly to text Prof. Dr. Rohana, and for the participants who joining, please change your name, such as our housekeeping rules. And we will wait for Prof. Dr. Rohana.
Yeah,
And
maybe first I will inform the Ibu Rohana because there are sorry, there is a link. I mean, like he has a room, then there are a participant too there. So I don't know. Yeah, so so Ibu Rohana talking there. So maybe we can fix it the problem first, right? Before we start it.
I understand. Thank you very much, Miss. Okay. So we will wait for another participant to join to this conference to this link. So our conference is just on this link, and maybe there is technical issues because there is 2 link Zoom. So Prof. Rohana joining to that Zoom. So we will wait for Prof. Rohana here. Okay, please keep waiting for all participants.
Karena
Okay, while we wait for Prof. Rohana, so I wanted to ask to all participants here that how are you today? So you might write your answer on the chat box below. Okay, how are you feeling today? You might answer my question on the text box. Maybe you feel happy, or maybe you feel sad, or another. Okay, Alhamdulillah, fine. Okay, Alhamdulillah. Hopefully all participants all fine too. Okay, so how about, okay, here, okay, Alhamdulillah. Okay, how about your place? I want to know here that all participants that from where are you? Where are you from? Okay, please answer my question on the text box below. Okay, maybe in bahasa, dari mana para partisipan berasal? Kalian boleh menjawab pertanyaan saya melalui text box. Okay. Okay. From Parepare. Alhamdulillah. From Sulawesi Selatan. From Makassar. Okay. From Makassar. Okay. There is anyone from another place or another island or another country? Okay, there's from Baru, Enrekang, Mamuju, Manado, Masya Allah, Toraja, Bone, Luwu, Sopeng, wah, Cinek Ponto. Okay, Luwu, Bulukumba, Masya Allah, Palopo, wow, there's from Palopo too. Mamasa, Takalar, Pangkep, Goa, Masya Allah. Sinjai, Selayar. Sinjai, Ewako. Masya Allah. Okay. Goa baru. Okay, there's a lot of participants here, and the most of participants, I think there is from Sulawesi Selatan, right? Okay, there is from Sidrap too. Okay, Bantaeng. Thank you very much for the answer. Okay, maybe there is someone from Java, maybe, or maybe from Sumatra. Okay, and Rekang, I see. Okay, maybe here there is a student in college. I would like to know that what the major that you have in university. Maybe in bahasa we can say jurusan apa yang kamu punya. Misalnya Anda mahasiswa, boleh tahu kalian berasal dari jurusan apa dan dari universitas mana. Maybe you can answer my question on the text box below. Let me see that where are you from? Okay, PGSD bilingual, Masya Allah, PGSD. Okay, Pasangkayu. Okay. There's a lot of from PGSD right here. Okay, PGSD UNM, Masya Allah. Okay, there's from another major, PGSD regular. PGSD lebih baik PGSD, Masya Allah. Thank you very much for answering my question. Okay, PGSD UNM. Okay, PGSD. There is a lot of from PGSD here. That's a proud of thing because I'm also from PGSD. Okay, PGSD regular UNM. Inshallah. Hopefully, all students have a great spirit to study in PGSD, and in this Zoom, hopefully that you can get a lot of mindfully, and you can be better after you joining in this conference. Okay, Hairil Usman, Cibubur, Jakarta, Masya Allah. There's from Cibubur. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, to all participants, we will wait for Prof. Rohana. I'm so sorry for the technical issues. Yes. Okay, so we will wait for kindly some minutes. So please keep waiting. We will try to text Prof. Rohana. Thank you very much.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay. The first of all, I would like to thanks to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala has giving us to good to hold these activities. And let's we send to greet Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa salim. And ladies and gentlemen, thanks for being here today to join this event, the first international conference, language, culture, and education, with the themes, the challenge, and the opportunity in the language, linguistic, culture, and education. This time, I would like to express my appreciation to all the committees and the speaker who have to conduct this conference coming through. The Honorable Prof. Dr. Nordin Noni, Master of Humanoria, and the Honorable Dr. Krishnan Umachandra from India. He is my friend. And then the Honorable Prof. Amirullah Abduh, SPD, MED, PhD. And the Honorable Iskandar, SPD, MED, PhD. And the Honorable Dr. Hanakasa Dikvijay Pandey from India. She is now was sick and the fever have cold. And then we'll come to the first international conference, language, linguistic, culture, and education. And then this time too, I would like to convey my gratitude of organization committee members, Hotima SPD, MPD, Dr. Ramla MPD, and Dr. Faida MPD, Norilah Fitra SPI, and Miss Khalifa. Thanks for your goodness to have make it event can be done today. And may Allah blessing you and with successful in your life, inshallah. And ladies and gentlemen, this conference to have discussed about the language, linguistic, culture, and education, as well as to set the knowledge with the various cycle, academic, student, and the community, so that the knowledge is disseminated to benefits to all, inshallah. We have to educational foundation. There are Nurul Mubin Smart, Makassar, and Transformasi Informatika Foundation, which is engaged in education, journal publish, and books publishing, and Islamic boarding school. But they are still the development stage in the located district of Goa. And our foundation have collaborated with the reputable journal who are interested in submitting their article. We will select, inshallah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I hope conference is useful, and this conference has 522 registrants. Alhamdulillah, may Allah give us success and hold this conference. Okay, I think that's all. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
Okay, thank you very much for give the opening speech delivered by dear Chairman of Newbin Smart Makassar Foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to remind to participants, if there is attendance on the link below, please fill the attendance link on the chat box with the correct name and little and email. If there is after the session, there is attendance, please kindly fill for the attendance on the chat box below. Okay, we are now continuing our meeting to the next agenda. We have 2 sessions with each session have 3 speakers who will presenting their material. After the speakers and their presentation, we will going to open Q&A session. Okay, now please welcome to our first moderator, Mrs. Dr. Faida, SS MPD. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you very much for the moderator, Ms. Hafifa. So before we begin this conference, please all the participants turn on your camera because this conference streaming in YouTube. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Ladies and welcome to the first international conference, Language, Linguistics, Culture, and Education. Theme, Challenge, and Explanation in Language, Linguistics, Culture, and Education during the post-pandemic era. My name is Faida Yusuf. We'll be moderator for the first sessions. And for the second session, will be handled by my partner, Ms. Norila. And the last, there is panel session. So stay tuned to this conference till the end. Ladies and gentlemen, the COVID-19 crisis has also revealed the massive importance of digital connectivity and online platforms. We've been through a pandemic for 2 years, and now we are in post-pandemic. So through this conference, we are going to listen to material for great speakers who are experts in their fields related to this topic. Ladies and gentlemen, now I'm going to go to the 6 speakers here. I want to mention one by one. The first is Dr. Krishnan Umachandran from India. And then the second, Dr. Vijay Pandey from University of Madras, India also. And then the Excellencies Professor Amirullah Abdu, SPD, MED, PhD from Universitas Negeri Makassar. And the Excellencies Iskandar, SPD, MED, PhD from Universitas Negeri Makassar. And the next, the Excellencies Professor Dr. Nurdin Noni M. Hum from Universitas Negeri Makassar. And then the last speaker, Professor Dr. Hajar Rohana, SPD, MPD. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first session, there are 3 great speakers who will be presenting the materials, and I hope they already with us. We have, I want to greet for the first, Dr. Krishnan Umachandran. Are you with us, Mr.?
I'm there, ma'am. Good morning.
Okay, thank you. So the next, Dr. Vijay Pandey, are you with us? Dr. Vijay Pandey, are you with us? Okay, maybe we're going to join later on. Yeah, and the next, yes, Prof.
Dik Panjang is sick now.
Oh, is
She
it?
give me, yes, she give me information. Just give me information.
Okay, thank you very much. I hope Dr. Pandey get well soon. Okay, so the next, Professor Amirullah Abdu, SPD, MPD, PhD from Universitas Negeri Makassar. So I hope Professor Amirullah Abdu here also. Hello, sir. Hello. Or maybe for the later on. So I'm going to the first speaker, Dr. Krishnan Umachandran. I want to read your profile first. Could the committee please for showing the profile for the Dr. Krishnan Umachandran. Okay. So Dr. Krishnan Umachandran currently working as General Manager at Neljas, is larger jobbing foundry in India for the manufacturing of ductile and gray iron castings. Okay, so he has number of experiences in management of industry field and several experiences in teaching. Okay, so the experience for the teaching in Madras School of Social Work, Academic Staff College, Amrita School of Business, Faculty of ICT, Makerere University, Kampala, Uganda. So, ladies and gentlemen, the presentation till the next 2 hours, and all the speakers will talk around 15 to 20 minutes, and all the audiences can ask the questions. If you have a questions, you can ask questions after 3 speakers have presented their materials by raising your hand, or you can type the questions in the chat box, and I'm going to read them for you. Ladies and gentlemen, we invite to the first speaker, Dr. Krishnan Umachandran. For you, sir, time is yours.
Please unshare your screen.
Yes. For the committee, please stop the screen. Okay.
Yeah. Good morning.
Good.
Good morning.
I'm really happy. I'm really happy to be part of your first international conference. And great support to Dr. Rohana. We were co-authors in many of our post-pandemic articles, which we have published worldwide. Thank you all for joining us. And today we'll try to share you a lot of research which has gone into how the world has changed after pandemic and what steps the teacher and the student have taken along with the institution which has been supporting them to take such a kind of a initiative. Okay. Thank you for inviting me to your first international conference. As the recording has started, I'll make a small brief before I start. Thank you, Dr. Rohana, for inviting me to this program. Let me share my screen so that I can go in straight into the theme of the workshop, which I have been allocated. I hope you people can see. The theme you are having is the Conference on Language, Linguistics, Culture and Education, ICLLCE. So I picked up a crux from it called the Opportunities to Education in Post-Pandemic Period. This is where I want to talk to you. And I'm choosing this talk because we have been forced to be living through this pandemic period and we have escaped out of the pandemic. So God bless everyone to have a safe health and come back to liveliness as we were pre-pandemic. See, the first source which I'm going to show you is now what happens with the educators. Every educator is talking something called as a lifelong learning. If you want to have lifelong learning, it happens like, every educational activity has to be designed or it has to go in for such kind of a requirement. If you see the crux of learning, today, learning is not for only knowledge or for use, but for employment. Everyone who is getting to learn or invest their time, their energy, their effort to learn or to teach is either a part of delivering and earning money or learning and becoming prepared for an employment. So the future is education for the future is more towards, employment. This is the more important part we need to understand. Of course, it leads us to a personal development. Now, mind, we are going to have a personal development, but as long as we have economic gains, then the education is really valuable. This is a thing which goes across the world, whether you're in a Western world, Eastern world, economically developed or economically underdeveloped or poor country or whatever it is. This is the crux on which the total population who are an erudite, erudite in the mean, either a teacher or a student or a service provider with an institution, they all expect. The next reference is we learn a lot. Everyone puts a lot of energy and efforts and time to learn a lot. But one thing is required is we have to unlearn. What we learn, we need to unlearn and relearn. This is where we get a reinforcement of the learning. Learning is not just memorizing or writing in an exam. No, it has an implication of putting our knowledge into practice when it is required. And whenever it is required, it should be in a recall. This is the more important part in learning. So if you want to have learning, then means it should go imbibed into you. You should really understand, you should get it. For this, a lot of data has been gathered by this researcher called Emily Jekyllin. They have done on teachers' experience. They have done on professional communities and practices experience, and they have come out with learn, unlearn, and relearn. If you can have this in your instruction, then the content can be helpful for a post-pandemic period. This is where they have come out with. The next part is the pandemic. Pandemic was not only taking our lives out, but it was also killing us because we were forced to be captive in-house. We were not allowed to even roam in the roads. We were not allowed to get social with the people. We were restricted. We were almost in a jail, a prison. If this kind of a thing happens to all the people in a country, what happens is everyone is conceived to be within a kind of a stress. So the Millennium Development Goals by UN started telling parents, teachers, students, everyone should have a positive association. Everyone should have a clarity in communication. And then the learning goal can happen. Because when you are at home, you don't have any other choice to go out, and you had only the opportunity to learn. So day in and day out, students, teachers were asked to teach, and the students were asked to learn. This was the only activity which happened for 2 years. Believe me, this never happened to any of the earlier generations, and we don't expect to happen in the post generations also. This is a kind of a restrictive stress. We don't want to have it, right? So this education which we are offering, which should give a greater rate of return. People should understand that, loosening the stress, getting into economic upliftment, and accentuation of education. These are the goals which the UN Millennium Development has started. This is from the UCED research. Next comes the educational system and emerging technologies. Technologies were used. Everyone were comfortable with using laptops or mobile phones for learning. When they were using these, they were using platforms. Most probably it was a Zoom or a Google. See, these Zoom or Google are social platforms for learning. These are for a social educational platform or a conference tool, which was available. In addition, we had Cisco, we had Telegram, we had many other tools which were developed during this period. All these had a use, but the impact is who is being accepted by. Students and teachers were accepting Zoom. See, what happened was Zoom was all across accepted, but there was some kind of a conditioning or misrule of the use of Zoom. For example, in Zoom, in Singapore, when Zoom was in full-fledged, there were some nudity content which was displayed, and then the whole of Singapore stopped using Zoom. So a tool was completely stopped. And then to rejuvenate that, the competitor was Google, but Google had its own limitations. And it also had its positives, like it had a connectivity to its browser, which can take up a Wikipedia or any knowledge source when you're using Google. But when you're using Zoom, and when you're sharing, you cannot go into other web contents. These were certain limitations. So in the future, many things are going to change. The future is going to be on emerging technologies. Emerging technologies are going to use IoTs. IoTs are nothing but you have a sensor which can interpret its transition of requirement and then transfer it to the machine, which is the computer. So your IoT is the one which is going to take up the whole of the educational system, and it is going to empower and underpin the societal spread in a widespread adoption of this technology into education. When you want to have this, a lot of openness and participation is required. The challenge now is how to take everyone, learn technology, and also use it for their curriculum development or for their learning evaluation. Curriculum development is for the teacher, and learning evaluation development is for the teacher, and being evaluated is by the student. And ultimately, the institution has to have a wholesome connectivity of all these things. This is from Ajit Singh in 2019. This was done. Okay. The technology, if you say, if it is a mainstream, okay, technology is a mainstream because we are now connected only through technology. We are, our geographical space has been reduced. Our times are, in a good way being spent. No cost is being incurred for this. And a lot of things are happening when this technology is used in the right way. To discover the relationships, what we are going to do is we have to confront the idea that the points of certain relationships and coordinates are not only filling and fitting into a pattern, but it has a landscape being evolved. So it's not one-to-one. What is suited for Indonesia may not suit for India and may not suit for some other place. So you need to have a lot of customization that is required. And that is the thing which the technology gives opportunity for every people to take it and proceed positively. Ultimately, what happens is knowledge is now available all across. Even when it is available all across, the quality at which it is being delivered and it is picked is the more important part for success for the course or for the student who is learning it. So you need to illuminate them, give them a lot of examples so that people can understand. Each person from every part of the world can understand in their local way of teaching. So the quality should be in such a way, it should be fluidly influenced and it should be told in a storytelling way so that people can understand and then pick its driving points. So the organizational capability or the capacity can be increased only by teachers when it is being put on to the students in such a way that they can accept it and understand and use it in a right proper way. This is from again OCD. You can take the reference from. Now, people are all interconnected. And after the pandemic, the post-pandemic, we are having a redefined rules. It's not only the teacher's attendance is more important for delivering in a class. It is more important to have technology, the use of technology, and how to properly use it at a time, because interconnectivity is also more important. So the interconnectivity through internet and using or getting a great leap from emerging technologies are going to be the future. If you want to have this, then you have to have a lot of insights to the teachers, administrators of the institutions, the families of the students. Everyone should all have a knowledge about it. And the assessment is going to be very open and it is unbiased. It's going to be objective, no subjectivity. So then when you are going to have this kind of a truthfulness, then the clarity of getting into learning and being evaluated is also in a nice way. US Department of Education have researched it in 2016, and they were future ready for learning, reimagining the role of technology in 2016. Okay, this is the source from which we have picked it up. And next, the virtual mode. When you are not in a physical mode. Earlier, getting out from a home and going to a school or a university or a college was a great activity. Now you can be anywhere and you can learn, still learn. Certain universities are giving hybrid mode of learning. One, you can either be physically present or you can learn whenever it's possible, but attempt all the evaluations that is being given. So the artificial intelligence of non-being present in one place to learn is one which also improves the performance of employable opportunities. As employable opportunities are picked up, more people can get into education, and education has dramatically raised by e-learning practices where teaching is undertaken remotely on a digital platform. This is from the World Economic Forum. They have taken consideration of the COVID impact on the education. This is the final part. This is the model which OECD has come out with. See, any education is for knowledge, it's for skills, for doing things, and for attitudes, behavioral changes. If these three can be given, then it is called learning. If this learning can happen in any place, you have it in any place, whether in-house, external, or from outsourced activities, or from a global activity which has been published earlier through an internet browser, then you all take it finally for the well-being. So for well-being of 2030, OECD has given out a learning platform taking consideration of knowledge, skills, and attitudes should be online development for capability building so that people and the stakeholders, student, teacher, parent, institutions, everyone is being linked to take a better leap out of it. This is what is COVID post-pandemic is doing. But the rational or the radical change that is happening is artificial intelligence has come. if a content can be created and it is available, then we don't need people to do it. It is required for the student to pick it. The teacher who is going to handle this subject should have their own way of expressing or delivering so that the content is easily assimilated by the people, the student. That is where offering a moral, you bring fairness, you bring engagement to the participants and have a multidisciplinary kind of a team working. It's not core content deliveries of each skills or discipline like science or medicine or engineering or health or plant sciences, like that. It's a multidisciplinary so that it can be applicable to a precision. With this, I stop my talk. Thank you very much. If you have questions, I'm open to you.
Okay, thank you very much for incredible presentation by Dr. Krishnan Umadan with the topic opportunity to education in post-pandemic period. Okay, so I think for if you have a questions, just asking, but after the speakers, and we have discussions. So you may write in your chat box. Okay, so the next, I would like to invite the second speaker, Professor Amirullah Abdu, SPD, MED, PhD from Universitas Negeri Makassar. So I would like to say hello from Dr. Amirullah Abdu. Hello, sir. Hello, Prof.
Yeah, hello. Assalamualaikum.
Okay. Waalaikumsalam. So I would like to read the profile from Professor Amirullah Abdu, SPD, MED, PhD. So yeah, Professor Amirullah Abdu, SPD, MED, PhD, we can see here, professor at Universitas Negeri Makassar for subject English, Indonesia translation, academic writing, translation critique, bilingualism and language acquisition, multicultural education, language philosophy, and theory constructions. Wow. Currently also working as head of publication center and Haki LP2M UNM 2019 until 2020. He obtained his PhD at Victoria University, Australia. And then, 2017, current chief editor ICLLCE, International Journal of Language Education, Web of Index International Journal. 2018, current reviewer for the International Journal of Multilingualism, Scopus Index Journal Q1, and Web of Science. Okay, so this is great speaker today. So directly we invite the speaker, Professor Amirullah Abdu, SPD, MED, PhD, for presenting his materials. For you, sir, time is yours.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. It is the best opportunity to say the gratitude to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for His blessing and salam for the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam as the messenger of Allah. First of all, I'd like to express my gratitude to Prof. Rohana as the chairperson of Nurul Mubin, and also I'd like to say hello to the first speaker, Dr. What is the first speaker?
I'm Dr. Krishnan Umachandran, Dr. Amirullah.
How do you call your name, Dr.?
You call me Uma.
Uma, yeah. That's That's great. Nice to meeting you. I think hopefully we will continue working in a different areas in the future. Okay, nice to meet you. Well, I hope let's start, everyone, and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, for all the participants in this seminar, International Conference on Language and Linguistics, Culture and Education. Well, my topics will talk about challenges and opportunities of English language teaching in the current digital transformation. Let me tell you a little bit about narrative of digital transformation. Everyone should know that and should be aware that there is a current digital transformation occurring all over the world, not only in Indonesia. For example, there is a change or there is a movement of trying to use more digital rather than a traditional form of language teaching. It's happened, for example, currently a lot of leaders in Indonesia are attending training and attending such seminars, and the government provides scholarship to study about digital transformation. So those digital transformation cannot be avoided, especially also in the area of English language teaching. It is because it is a transformation. So everybody should learn about anything, news, anything about how to use effectively okay. So those change is unavoidable for everyone, including for English teachers. So if you want to be the teacher for the future, you need to adapt with the digital transformation. So again, if you want to be a teacher for the future, you need to be able to understand, use, and master any digital tools that help you to become a transformed teacher in the future. Because my topic about challenges, I'm using my lecturers is Andy Hargraves. He's from Canada. He's one of my guest lecturer when I was studying in Melbourne. So Andy Hargraves has the framework of understanding the challenge. Even though there are different frameworks, he basically provide three frameworks: political, cultural, and practical challenges. And to look at the opportunities, I'm using because currently I'm attending Oxford University training. There is a framework to understand about understanding the opportunities in a digital transformation, which is economy, social, and collaborative framework. I think Dr. Uma or Dr. Krishnan in the first speaker talk about how you gain some economic benefit in the during and post-pandemic era. So I'm not talking not only about post-pandemic. So what happened next is all about digital transformation. Let's say, for example, at UNM, Universitas Negeri Makassar. So when last time you need to sign on the paperwork for attending to show that you are at the university, but now you need to download an UNM application attendance list to show that you are at the university. So that's one of the example of digital transformation. Anything later on, those kind of digital transformation will occur in whole aspect of human lives. So let's look at those framework. I think political. Why political is number one? Because if you're looking at the structural and hierarchical perspective of the government, is you need everything happen in the government starting from political perspective. you need to have a law. You need to have a legal basis to understand as a basis framework for implementing any changes. For example, in the local level at Universitas Negeri Makassar, if you're using a digital transformation, there is a clear statement in the university statute that you can use a digital form of teaching up to 30% from 100%. So those are the basis of political instrument to implement those changes, including in English language teaching. So in the next future, if we look at the political constraint, there is a need, a clear need or a clear demand of a basic regulation of the use of digital transformation for teaching, how to use it, when to use it, and how to assess and what are the impact of those digital transformation. For example, if you're using WhatsApp for English language teaching, how to use it properly, when to use it, and how do you communicate with the student, and how to assess the student using WhatsApp. You don't only use WhatsApp, just say hello student, good morning, how you know. There is a clear guideline, whether it's provided by the university or provided by the local government or provided by the national government. This is political. Why political? The regulation that underpinning the use of any change in many aspects of life, including in the teaching and learning. The second one, because there is a regulation, there is a follow-up with the budget allocation. Any changes, for example, MBKM, Merdeka Belajar, Kampus Merdeka, Guru Penggerak, it's followed by budget allocation. So any change, to successfully understand, implement, and master the digital transformation, especially in English language teaching, there is special allocation with the university or the district level or the national government to run the program effectively. Otherwise, it's going to be really very difficult. So those are the challenges. And there is a need to have, for example, political campaign, especially those who are the elite figures should understand. So, for example, we don't know in the next 4 or 5 years, maybe in 2024, we will have election, maybe a traditional election. But in the next coming 4 years after that, perhaps we will follow what happened in the United States of America, for example. You do not only go to the ballot, or you do not use the traditional way of electing the leaders, but maybe you will only use your handphone. You just register things and then you choose what is the best person to represent your area, to become a legislative member, for example, or to become mayor or governor. So this we call it digital transformation in the next 4 or 5 or maybe in the future. And we need a modeling. So those are the challenges, because everybody talks about digital transformation, especially English language. We need the model, for example, as I said, example of how to use it, WhatsApp effectively. So the student can understand and the teacher can transform the values, the content, and they can assess the content of the teaching effectively. So those are the challenges. And they say, oh, I'm using it online. So how effective it is? So this the challenge. From cultural perspective, cultural is related to assumption, belief, and the change of behavior. Yeah. So if you never think from now on that you will use the digital transformation in the future, you are the one who will fail in the next few years to come. Again, if you are not preparing that you will face a digital transformation, especially in English language teaching, you are the one who will fail. Perhaps now we will use hybrid, traditional form of teaching and also a digital form of teaching. perhaps in the future, as many of the companies, private companies, they don't have office anymore. Perhaps the university in the future, they do have maybe a small office, but they don't have enough building to provide a traditional class, as it is what happened in many universities right now. You can see in many universities in Indonesia, they assume that, especially in government universities, there are not enough classes to accommodate a new student. So this way, maybe the second year student are studying offline, while the first year student are studying online, or vice versa. The first year student studying offline, online. The fifth semester or the last semester student are studying offline. So there's a combination, because this we need to be understand, and we need to be aware what happened in the cultural. We need to change our mind and perspective. And because this is digital, you are required to have a cross-sectoral collaboration. What do you mean by cross-sectoral collaboration? First one is, the teacher of English, for example, cannot make by themselves a new application for teaching. You need somebody else to help you to make a new application for teaching. This is meant cross-sectoral collaboration. You need people from IT. You need people from educational technology. And also, because you need people, you need to pay them. So this is, we call it digital gain, digital economy gain. So if you pay, you need the bank, for example. You need to collaborate with the bank. You don't only work for yourself. For example, how can people pay if you don't have account? So this is a challenge. So there is no more working alone in the future. You say maybe in the traditional form of teaching, you can succeed effectively if you are working alone. But in the next future, or in the next years to come, you will not be able to succeed effectively if you work alone. I just give you example, for example, even though a very small thing, you make application for language assessment. You need IT, you need bank, you need maybe someone who will assess it. You need someone, you need administrator, and maybe also you need language editor. So those are the cross-sectional collaboration. For example, if you want to sell your application, you need to contact with bank. You need to contact with maybe any fintech company. You need to register, and then also you need to make sure that that is secure. For example, and also as a cultural, there is no more. For example, for limited, there is a reduction of hierarchy. Why? People, maybe when you are making application, you don't need a permission from school principal, for example. If you are lecturers, when you make a new application for teaching, you do not need permission from the rector. This is called reducing hierarchy. And of course, the most important thing in the digital transformation for language teaching is you need to open up. I mean, there's a challenge, because many people say, I don't need that. This is a challenge. Every new ideas, when it comes, so it says it's useless. But hang on, when you need to look at carefully, how does it useful in some areas and in some perspective? Why building atmosphere of new ideas is a challenge? Because there's not many people will accept any new thing at the first place. If you introduce new thing, people will say, I don't need that. That's the challenge. So this is why the challenge, because people assume they are comfortable enough to stay at their current level of condition. Not many people accept new ideas. And not only the cultural, but this is the most important thing. It's a practical. What happened in the real, in the field, because the cultural is about mindset, but here is about what do you really accept the change? This is practical. And do you really need to learn a new thing? Learning and adapting digital. And because this is, we are not familiar with using all digital in teaching and learning and assessment. This is, do you really accept this is a new ways of learning and teaching in the future? So as you maybe now a lot of university can still accommodate traditional form of teaching. Maybe there is still some areas of traditional form of teaching and learning. But when you have a lot of more students registering at your university, for example, and you don't have enough classes, enough building, and enough space to accommodate them, for example, then you need to have a breakthrough. You need to set the standard of new digital transformation. And because not many areas in Indonesia are well equipped with the technology, with the telecommunication system, so it's going to be very challenging. For those, for those all teachers, for example, many teachers are unwilling to change. And let alone we have limited resources to support the change. But we have to be not to really worry about those challenges, because as I say, any digital transformation create new opportunities. For example, as I said, those who are creative in this digital transformation, they will be very powerful in most areas. So any application, any things that we make for digital, of course, it comes back as a form of economic education or economic gain. So let's say we talk about English language teaching. It is a form of big business. Why I say big business? Let's say look at the assessment of English language. This is one or small portion of English language teaching. So the assessment, we got the two most important assessment in the world right now, which is TOEFL, Test of English as Foreign Language. The second one is ICLLCE, International English Language Testing System. So those are the two giant businesses of the language assessment across the globe. So for example, if you want to go to study or to train for more than 3 months in Australia, UK, or New Zealand, for example, you need to have certain a standard of IELTS test score. Those kind of when you prepare for IELTS test, for example, of course, you need to have some resources. It could be digital resources. Who will provide the one? So it goes back to, and then maybe you will have online session, and there is a strong movement to have a. I think the IELTS, this current movement of using digital and online testing, but for TOEFL, it starts very early, maybe 10 or 20 years ago. If you are taking IBT, internet-based TOEFL test, it's all online. Yeah, it's all online, and maybe they're modified for the next coming year. Only the paper-based TOEFL, which is used locally, that's not online. But if you are planning to go to United States of America, you must join the IBT. So it's all full online. It's well set up in the in the Texas, and then just all the instruction comes from United States. So it's all online. Now, not only the economy, but also the opportunity is about social spectrum, which means that there is a digital movement, there's digital form of of a social framework, we need to be aware and we need to be familiar with. As I said, the last one, there is need to be holistic collaborative framework among all those teachers. So we need to avoid working alone behind the desk, because those digital transformation requires us to work collaboratively. Finally, despite those challenges, digital transformation open up opportunities for every teachers of English to share gains, share working load, share trust, and build mutual trust. So this is the ingredients that may help English teacher to success in the years to come. I think that's my short presentation. I return to the moderator.
Okay, thank you very much for Dr. Amirullah, Professor Dr. Amirullah Abdu. It's an interesting topic for this post-pandemic. So now, if the participant there is questions, just keep your questions please, or write in the chat box after the next speaker, the last speaker from the first sessions. I will read for you. Okay, so the next speaker, we are going to invite Professor Dr. Nurdin Noni. So I would like to greet Prof. Are you here with us?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Prof. So now I'm going to read the profile from Professor Dr. Nurdin Noni. Okay, so this is the profile Professor Dr. Nurdin Noni M. Hum, professor at Universitas Negeri Makassar in Language and Literature Department in English Language major. He researched and wrote some books and publication of scientific papers in national, international journals and proceedings. He obtained his PhD at Universitas Hasanuddin Makassar, and he has dozen publications in reputed journals, including Scopus Index journals. So, without further ado, I would like to invite Professor Dr. Nurdin Noni for presenting his materials. For you, Prof, time is yours.
Okay, is my voice clear? Can you hear my voice, please?
Yes, Prof.
Okay.
Clear.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Before starting, how long does it take for this presentation? Is there a limitation about time?
Yes, around 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay. I'll try to finish it in 15 minutes.
Yes, Prof.
Can you see my slide, please?
Yes, we can see, Prof.
This is the problem. The slide doesn't appear in my screen.
Oh.
Okay, yeah. I don't know what's the problem, yeah.
We can see here, Prof, your slide. English language skill for a global career.
Okay. Good. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, sir.
First of all, I would like to thanks to Ibu Prof. Dr. Rohana, MPD, who is the head of Yayasan Nurul Mubin, ya, Smart Makassar. Ibu Hotima, SPD, MPD, is the chair of the organizing committee. And of course, all members of the committee, the presenters, Bapak Amirullah, guys from India. I heard the name, Pak Iskandar also mentioned the name. Also, of course, from Rohana. Okay, the participants of the first international conference on linguistic culture and education. I think as you can see on the screen, my topic at this moment is English language skill for global career, challenges and opportunities. When we heard the presentation from both presenters before me, Pro Amirullah and Pro Dr. I forgot the name. Very hard to say to mention the name, yeah. From India. I think both of them also address the workforce or the job opportunities in relation to the language skills. Yeah, and my presentation especially deal with the global career or job market. Yeah, I think you all know the importance of English language all over the globe, that it has become more universal language. I think right now there are about 60 countries, yeah, speaking the language. And if we are looking at the number of speakers now, we guess that there are 1.75 billion people around the world, yeah, using the language. And then 70% of them, I mean 70, the number is about 70% of the world population. In the context of business world, yeah, English is the most commonly used language as a worldwide lingua franca. What this means? This means that the use of English language in global work is much more important. So one who wants to pursue his career in multinational company or international company or global company or whatever you name it, of course, they are demanded to have adequate English skill and competence. Yeah, including when you want to work in Indonesia in multinational company, the requirement also is English skills. So I think mastering the language will make a better impression and increase one chance to get the job, yeah, he's applying for. Or we can say that the knowledge of English is one of the most important employability skill. Yeah, if there are some points which include employability skill, and one of the important one is language skills. Yeah, not only in the speaking country, but also in developing country like Indonesia. Many companies now require the candidate to be able to speak English, to be able to perform in English. Yeah. So the ability to communicate well in English is very essential for success in today's job market. And of course, I think will be an advantage when seeking a decent job anywhere in the world. Yeah. So I think English skill is one of the keys, yeah, to to win the job market in the world. However, I think the fact shows that this is about based on the data that only 5 to 10% are found to fit to be employed by the top rated companies. Because of what? Because of two reasons. First one, poor communication skills and poor English language skills. So we can see here that English skill is very, very important to be to have by whoever who want to internationally win the global job market. Another fact, this is a research that I did last time in 2021. I found that the average TOEFL score of non-English student is only around 400. Yeah, this is paper-based TOEFL test, which means this score is low, yeah. And then I think the graduate must work hard to get acceptable score to be accepted working in multinational company. Therefore, I think this becomes a challenge to the teaching of English in the non-English speaking country like Indonesia. Yeah.
Prof, stop. Your slide now running well. Maybe you could minimize first.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, you can see.
Okay, so I think there must be a great effort to meet the need for English proficiency that is in line with demand of global market, or global work market. Here, my presentation will focus on some topics. That is the skill and competencies rated with highest importance by employers, and then the importance of English language, reason to learn English, biggest challenge to teach and learn English, and effort to truly meet the needs for English proficiency. Now, these are the list about why English is important. Yeah, I think we all agree that the most commonly spoken language in the world is English, and the language of international business. Yeah, everywhere when we have international interaction in business, then we use English. And then, of course, to gain more opportunities to study in the best school in the world. Yeah. So this is a must when you want to study, for example, in Australia, in the United States, or everywhere, then you need to have the good performance in English. Of course, also because English is the language of the media industry, language of the internet. I think most of the writing in the internet is written in English, published in English. Yeah, and then we need English to connect with people and places around the world. This is, I think, some reason why English is important. These are the best reasons to learn English. I will address only some of them. The first one is, of course, to find more job opportunities. Yeah, especially when especially new graduate want to seek international job in international companies. Of course, they need to perform English well. And then, of course, to learn about culture, because I think we all understand that language is a culture. So of course, English also a culture. And then when when we work in multinational companies, of course, people meet from different countries, and then I think they will meet different culture. And also, we need English to improve confidence, especially confidence in communicating. And then this is also important to boost the career prospect with English. Right now, I think because English may become soft skill, may also become hard skill. There are so many offer given by institution for people who want to teach English can be offline or inline. And the last is, it is a great asset for professional career. Even in Indonesian institution, very often English is demanded for promoting certain people to higher rank. Now, this is the skill and competence rated in with employers. Yeah. Yeah, the first one is critical thinking and problem solving. This is a number one. I found it in many articles. Then all articles include this one, this competence. Yeah, critical thinking as one a key, one of the important key in getting a job. Critical thinking and solving problem. The second one is interpersonal skill. Then, of course, listening skill. Yeah, because one of the skill we need when we want to have good communication skill is listening skill. Then, of course, there are some here. And the last one is leadership. What this mean? Yeah, these are the important points. Yeah, that someone should consider when they want to seek a job in international company. And I think this may imply for teachers who want to teach English, especially in the university, that when you teach English, then you have to include this kind of competence, not only English, but how you include, how you develop critical thinking of the students, how you develop interpersonal skills of the student, the oral skill, communication skill, and so on. Yeah. And then how teachers motivate the students, to always motivate students. Yeah. And then also how the teachers really train the student to work in team, to work in collaboration, and so on. So not only the content of the language they are teaching, but this aspect must be considered, yeah, in the classroom. Now, this is a big question, I think. Actually, I want to interact with the participant, but the time is very limited, so it's not possible to do this. Yeah, I want the participant to write down the biggest challenge to learn in English as a foreign language, but I think it is impossible to do that. I just want to show you what are they. You may agree or you may not agree. Yeah. Yeah, I listed this one. Yeah, these are the biggest challenges. You may add some of challenges. Number one is unqualified teachers, poor learning environment, lack of commitment to learning, inadequate learning materials, students don't take their studies seriously, overuse native language in the classroom. Yeah, this is very common, happen in the classroom. Sometimes teachers and students use native language rather than English. And then sometimes also students become too dependent on the teachers. Yeah. And then strong students dominate the class. Now, the next big question is, what are the biggest challenge in teaching English? This is the challenge for the teachers. Yeah. I just want to show you, yeah. especially in the Indonesian context, I think. Yeah, a large number of students in the classroom. Yeah, even in the university level, I think we very often find the class which is very big, consisting of 40 students, 50 students, even more, yeah. And then limited teaching hours, especially in the secondary school, lack of ICT literacy, yeah. I think we need both teachers and students to have good ICT literacy. Prof. Abdullah has mentioned this one. And then use of IL1, yeah, meaning that sometimes the use of L1 or native language is dominant in the classroom. Okay, this is the conclusion that I have. The first one, the global workforce is growing, especially in the post-pandemic. Yeah, this means that greater opportunities for business growth in individual career growth, which means greater demands on English language skills. And then level teachers not only need to keep up with the latest development in the area of LT, but they also need to keep up with trends in the global job market. I think that's all. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much for presentation, the interesting presentation by Professor Dr. Nordin Noni. I think there are 3 speakers have given insightful materials for today in this conference, international conference. The first is Dr. Krishnan Umachandran, Professor Amirullah Abdu, and Professor Dr. Nordin Noni. We have various topic today from 3 speakers, but all of the speakers talking about the post-pandemic. So Dr. Krishnan Umachandran, the topic opportunity to education in post-pandemic period, that lifelong learning includes all education activities to upgrade occupation and professional. So the next is Professor Amirullah Abdul, PhD, about challenges and opportunities of ELT in the current digital transformation. So move on traditional teaching to digital transformations. So the next, the last speaker from the first sessions is Professor Dr. Nordin Noni, about English language skill for a global career challenges and opportunities. English language is important. So now we have discussion sessions. So I hope for these participants, all the participants, I invite you, or maybe there are anyone for giving questions. You may raise your hand or you may write in the chat box. Please, I give you time for giving questions. You may raise your hand and I will mention your name and start to give questions. Okay, there is a question from the chat box from Putri. Assalamualaikum, my name is Putri Hayatun Huda. Sometimes, so the question, sometimes there are some obstacles that occur to teacher or student when using a digital learning. Maybe because of the network, or maybe they don't know how to use it. So my question is, should schools provide digital networks and tools for teachers and students? So maybe should school, okay. So I give to three speakers, yeah, from Dr.
Yeah.
Maybe the first.
Yeah, I'll take a chance, right?
Okay, you first, sir.
Thank you. It's a good question, Putri and Huda. See, this is a normal problem. You know, when technology is the tool and the network is only the pathway should not be obstructed. What happens is many schools, including universities, they ask the student to pay for the data. Paying for the data is a pain on the student and the teacher. So if the university can provide them Wi-Fi connectivity or network, then it is good. But what happens is Wi-Fi connectivity cannot be restricted only to the university space alone. It should be expanded. So it is really impossible or impractical for an institution to provide such a support. So when you are within a university, there should be a network where every student and teacher can coordinate and have the learning and teaching practices going on, or connectivity getting on for learning. But when you are outside, then you need to pay. Whether you're a teacher or a student, they have to take the cost of it. But that's a pain, real pain. Okay. There's no real solution for it, but every organization, this is the real truth on which they are all living in. So this is a content, when you are within, that institution can provide. When you are outside, you have to bear the cost of it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for the answering from Dr. Uma. So maybe there is the other speakers, Prof. Amirullah Abdul. Okay, Prof, you want to answer the questions? Hello, Prof.
Okay, I'd like to share a little bit. Yeah, can you hear us?
Yes, we are here. We are here.
Okay, that's why I said the basic important thing that we need to set up is about the regulation. There should be a national or maybe a local regulation that the use of digital technology for language teaching. So if there is a regulation, so number one, the government has the obligation to provide both digital tools and the network. That's number one. Like what happened at UNM, for example, the university has the regulation to provide at least 30% or 35 or maximum 35 of the teaching and learning via a digital platform. So the university has the obligation to provide the network and the digital tools. So that's why the university provides some okay, for example, for Universitas Negeri Makassar. So it should be happen, or it should be occur for all other institutions. If it is for the local government, it is important for the legislative member to push to have perda, local regulation of the use of the technology in language teaching. So if they have a local regulation, the local government has the obligation to provide a network, especially for all the students, not only English. So all the burdens related to technology, it can be covered by the local government or the school it's themselves, or it depends on the content of regulation. This is important a movement from political perspective. So if we don't have a clear regulation, this will become a great challenges of the teaching and learning, especially English language teaching in the future. So there should be a clear and a quick movement to have a basis for that one. Yeah, at the moment, for example, yeah, parents cover those. They shouldn't be covered by parent because parent has paid the school fee, for example. So in this case, if it is private school, so of course the private school. And the public school, of course, because that belongs to government. So all those issues related to digital transformation, the use of digital tool, the use of technology, and the use of network should be covered by the government. So that's my concern. So we need to see these English language teaching issues not only from the practical language teaching, but also in the other perspective. Yeah, for example, political, cultural, and practical. So I think that's my comment to add from Dr. Uma. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Prof. So, Prof. Nordin, have you answered about these questions?
Okay, I think Prof. Amrullah and Kumar also already answered the question. But I think I can say the other perspective of this problem. Yeah. Pak Amrullah was mentioning about the regulation. Yeah, there should be regulation by the government, even local government or the central government. In this case, the Minister of Education. I try to look at from the other perspective. Yeah, I think almost students right now, if not all, are using a mobile phone. Yeah, and they mostly use it for chatting, for playing game, and many others. Yeah, or this using Facebook, Twitter, and other social media. That means that most of them are actually capable of connecting with technology. Yeah, digital mobile phone, for example, and then that's a thing, potential tool that we can I mean the student can use to connect with the teachers, yeah, for learning purposes. So I'm not looking at the use of synchronous learning platform like Google Meet or like what we are using now. Apa namanya nih? Yeah, we have WebEx, we have Zoom, and so on. Yeah. But then I think we can try to look some other simple way of using technology. Yeah, I think most students know how to use social media, yeah, like WhatsApp, Facebook. Why don't we think about maximizing the use of that kind of social media, so that the student are quite familiar with this platform. Yeah, but the question is, do the teachers have fruitful ideas on how to use this mobile phone by using social media? That's the problem. Yeah, so we need creative teachers to really maximize, optimize the use of the digital platform at hand right now. They have the mobile phone. So I think we can make a model, yeah, for a certain area, and then how we can really use this kind of way of teaching online, teaching through technology. This is my point of view, yeah. Rather than waiting for, okay, they're all good, I think, but sometimes we need more effort to wait the government to take action. And this is the problem. Yeah. So why don't we ini tadi siapa penanyanya ini?
Putri.
Putri, yeah. So Putri, are you a teacher, Putri? Putri?
Putri, are you a teacher? Yeah.
Okay,
Most
yeah.
of this, yes, yes.
Okay, yeah. Whoever, yeah, who
Teacher.
is a teacher, yeah, I think could try a simple way on using mobile phone, because most students already use mobile phone. Even elementary school student, many also kindergarten students also use mobile phone. So, so it is. I mean, it is very potential, yeah, to to really use this kind of technology to facilitate the learning of the students. Thank you. That's my answer. Thank you.
You may raise your hand and then we mention your name. Okay. How are the questions, please? Is there any questions or no more questions? Okay.
We have
So there
question
is
in the chat room.
okay. Wait a moment. Okay, there is a question from Faturiski Fauzi about Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'd like to ask to Dr. Pisman Umar Chandran. Earlier you mentioned about learning and there is an unlearning method. What does that mean, or can you explain what the unlearning method is for? Okay, this is the question from Fatu to Dr. Pisman.
Okay. See, this is a dyadic. When it comes to learning, learning is not what you have inside you. Learning is something what you have gotten through the process of your input that has to be changed for the future. See, the way how we learned when we were students or when we were in a childhood, the same way of teaching the current students is not practical, because we have gone through rough roads. We have gone through for many things that which happened within us. But today, what happens is you need to do it in a way that people can assimilate. That's where the unlearning comes. The process of making them learn. You cannot make the same way how you were taught, but the way how people can understand and they can disseminate down for their livelihood. That's called the unlearning. And then you need to make them relearn the same content what you did. So the content is same, but the process of making people to understand and accept it, or to get through the process of learning, is the one which you need to unlearn. Unlearning is not you swap away all the work what you have learned. That is not unlearning. Unlearning is the process on which you have to do it, and then relearn the same thing with a higher version, updation. For example, I'll tell you. For example, in mathematics, you have crammed a mathematical table. 1 twos are 2, 2 twos are 4, 2 threes are 6, like that. You would have crammed it. But now today, for the current generation, you have to teach it in such a way how that mathematics comes. Take some 2 apples, add another 2 more apples, and say it's 4. And then add another 2 more apples and say it's 6. Or add something. Adding apple is a costly affair. So pick something which you can do it. The same way you cannot just write it on a board and ask people to memorize it and keep doing it. The current generation wants to really learn what is practical, and they have to understand in a way that it should be understood. That is called unlearning. Unlearning is not that you change the content. It is on the process of learning. That is where you have to work on.
Okay, that's an answer from Dr. Uma. So how Faturiski, I hope you get the answer from Dr. Uma. So I think no more questions for Dr. Prof. Amirullah and Prof. Nordinoni. Is there any questions? Or no more questions? Okay, so I think no more questions from the participants, and I really appreciate for all the speakers, incredible materials today from this conference. And there are three speakers from Dr. Krisnan Umachandran, Professor Amira Abdu, PhD, and Professor Dr. Nurdinoni have given us insightful materials about the post-pandemic. I think from the Krishnan Uma Chandran said that just now we can connect each other, we can be learning whenever we are. So Professor Amirullah Abdu said just now that there are framework of challenges from political challenges, cultural challenges, and practical challenges. So opportunities in digital transformations, we can economy, create new digital economy, fintech, and online business of ALT. And then the last speaker from Dr. Nurdinoni said that everyone need to learn English language, because English language is very important in our career for the next future. So I think thank you very much for three speakers for the first session. So I invite for all the participants, give applause for three speakers. So thank you very much for this time. We have very insightful for this three topic. Okay, so for the next sessions, I give to the next moderator, my partner, Ms. Nurila. Okay, so I close for this first session. Thank you very much for all participants, for all speakers. Dr. Krishnan Umachandran, thank you very much. And then Professor Amirullah Abdul, thank you very much. And Professor Nurdinoni, thank you very much. Thank you very much for all the participants. I give to the moderator, Nurila. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, moderator. Thank you very much. Thank you, colleagues.
Okay, welcome. Hello, Miss Ila. Oh, Miss Ila, no voice. Maybe couldn't unmute the mic. Okay, so all the participants, please be patient for waiting the next moderator, Miss Nurila. Please, the committee give Miss Ila. Okay, could be.
Yeah, all right. Thank you very much, Mrs. Dr. Faida. All right, now we have our second session. And excellencies, distinguished guests, participants, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
Okay, can you hear me clearly?
Right, it's very clearly.
Okay,
Clear. Okay.
All right, thank you. Now, I am Nurila Fitra Shamsuddin. A great pleasure to be a moderator for this conference, and I will handle this second session until the end. And before the presentations begins, let me remind you once again, like Dr. Faida said before, that we have speakers first that now we have two speakers. Actually, we have three speakers. We that have to presenting their presentations, but one of them have a health issues, so unfortunately we can have him here, so we just have two speakers for this second session. And yeah, so how this session will run: first the speakers will presenting the materials for around 20 until 25 minutes. After that, we will open the Q&A or questions and answer session. And of course, we love to receive your feedback and questions. You can write it down first and asking directly later on the Q&A session. All right. Now, before I am going to the speakers, I will remind you first, for all applicants, you can use background Zoom, and you can see the link on the chat box. All right, let me send it once again. So with the background here. Okay, for the attendance sessions 2, later we can send it on the chat box. And yeah, please, everyone who didn't change the name, the username, please change your username first with country name, then your name, full country, and your full name. All right, is that clear, everyone? Yeah.
Yes, clear.
All right, I hope this is clear. Now, yeah, alhamdulillah. Now, all right, first I like to check, like I want to mention first and check our speakers for the second session. We have Dr. Iskandar and Professor Rohana. And yeah, let me check it first. Is Dr. Iskandar here? Are you with us, Dr. Iskandar?
Yeah, I have been here since the start.
Okay, thank you so much. And how about the Professor Rohana? Are you with us, Professor? All right. Maybe later I will check it once again. All right. Now, let me introduce for our first speakers for today. Now, we have first speakers is Dr. Iskandar SPD MAD PhD. He is a lecturer at Universitas Negeri Makassar for the subject ICLLCE curriculum and materials development and many more. He also working as a head of UPT Bahasa at UNM or Universitas of Negeri Makassar. He obtained his PhD at Curtin University of Technology in 2015. He got his master at education at Curtin University of Technology, and he got his bachelor of education at Universitas Negeri Makassar. He has dozen publications in reputed journals, including Scopus, indexed journals, and have 5 patents. So that's we have our first speakers. Now let me invite Dr. Iskandar for our presentation. For Dr. Iskandar, we have 20 until 25 minutes for you. So yeah, time is yours.
Okay, thank you. First of all, let me share the screen to make sure that it will work well. should be from the start. Okay. Well, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good afternoon, everyone. First of all,
Good afternoon.
Let's say our gratitude to the Almighty God, Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, for His blessing and make us here. And thank you to Professor Rohana Shamsuddin for inviting me to take participations in this international conference. My topic today is quite different from the first three speakers. The topic is the internationalization of Bahasa Indonesia or Indonesian language through BIPA program. I think the slide doesn't work properly, so I have to manually. Yeah, it should be that there will be transitions between slide to slide, but probably the Zoom doesn't work properly here. So I say here the prologue in some says the introductions or whatsoever or background. Yeah, Indonesian language has been widely used in the world, particularly in ASEAN countries. And recently, Indonesia has proposed that the language be the official language of ASEAN. However, this attempt has been argued by our neighboring country, especially Malaysia, who argued that the Melayu or the Malay language is more widely spoken. And they also propose that Melayu or the Malay language to be the official language of ASEAN. So for us here now, I think we ask you to forget about that. Forget about the arguing between Indonesia and Malaysia for the sake of making the Bahasa Indonesia to be the official language of ASEAN. Because I think that we still have some ways to make the Bahasa Indonesia or the language to be international language. So one way is a so-called BIPA or Bahasa Indonesia bagi penutur asing. In English, we say Indonesian language for speakers or foreign speakers or for speakers of other languages. In recent years, more and more foreign citizens are in need to learn Bahasa Indonesia, and they have various of reasons. Some because of personal reasons, some others they have business reasons, and maybe others have political reasons. And then this is why many BIPA institutions has been established to provide services for the teaching of BIPA, both in our country itself, Indonesia, and abroad. Today, according to the data, BIPA has been learned in at least 48 countries in the world, with more than 200 BIPA institutions. One of the institution is in our institutions in UPT Bahasa Universitas Negeri Makassar, which we have also one. And in Makassar itself, I think we have at least 5 institutions running BIPA program. Make the language an international language. Actually, we have some opportunities in terms of
let's say, running the BIPA or development of BIPA program. We have more than 30 representatives, or maybe more than 50 Indonesian representatives, especially so-called Adibud, atas pendidikan dan kebudayaan abroad, or in English we say educations and culture attaches, who can be echoing the Indonesian language in the international arena. They can promote the Indonesian language to those who are interested in learning Bahasa Indonesia in respective countries where they are assigned to do their routinity as the attaches. And around the world, we have also a so-called komunitas pencinta budaya Indonesia. Those are the alumni from BRI scholarship. So there is a school Dharma Siswa. Students from foreign countries come to Indonesia to learn, and when they are coming to Indonesia, most of them, or more than 65%, choose Bahasa Indonesia as the language to learn instead of learning others like culinary or tourism and so on. So they would rather learn Bahasa Indonesia first, and then just few of them expect to learn other things such as tourism, politics, and other disciplines. And also we have experts of Indonesia, known as Indonesianists in some universities, some leading universities, and they are also, I mean, can be involved by the attaches to develop BIPA program. And another opportunities is that we have some good commitment from the government of the countries who had submitted the policy of taking Bahasa Indonesia as additional foreign language to be learned at schools. For example, in Australia, they used to take Bahasa Indonesia as an additional language to be learned at schools. So besides English, they will have to learn Bahasa Indonesia for at least 2 semesters, and then the Bahasa Indonesia is learned from primary school up to high schools. Yeah, but despite the opportunities that we have, we also have some challenges here. The first one is that the foreign citizens who are coming, for example, to Indonesia or in need to learn bahasa, do they really need to learn bahasa Indonesia, or they learn the culture actually? Yeah. And the most challenges, I think, the most thing that challenge us is that the availability of BIPA teachers, or let's say the instructors who are able to teach Bahasa Indonesia to foreign learners, because this is quite different from teaching Indonesian to, let's say, to native speakers of Indonesia or to the people of Indonesia themselves. Here we have some requirements. For example, the teachers should be able to speak English, as Professor Nordin Noni said. This is also the opportunity to have to get yourself in the job market. If you have a good command in English, and I think you are also eligible to teach BIPA as one of the opportunities to teach the language, not only in Indonesia, but in foreign countries. You can go abroad. The government can send you to teach there if you fulfill the requirements. You don't have to be, let's say, have a high qualifications in English. At least, as Professor Nurdinoni showed us in his research, that most of us, most of students in Indonesia get score only around 400s in total score, I think, but that's enough. The teachers of BIPA, I think that's enough because let's say you don't you go there not teach English, but you will teach Bahasa Indonesia. So you just need a little bit knowledge in English in order that you can communicate with your students. And we are also recommended not to use most English when you are teaching, but you have to use mostly in Bahasa, usually Bahasa Indonesia. So use the language to teach the language itself. Due to COVID-19, the admissions of prospective students of BIPA were postponed. This is in case of
Mama. Oh, Mama punya ni kan? Ya, punya dulu ni kan?
Let him go first. Yeah, unless some of you can mute it. Okay, so some prospective students from foreign countries were postponed when the COVID-19. This is particularly happens in our institution itself. But thanks God, because we restart, and now we are having some students from foreign countries, and they are learning Bahasa Indonesia or BIPA in our institutions. So how to overcome these challenges? In the case of those who are willing to learn Bahasa Indonesia because they have some reasons to learn, they maybe some learning the cultures, but of course, when we are teaching them, we have to provide teaching materials that, let's say, so-called culturally embedded materials. I have done, not I, we actually, we have done research in the last 2 years concerning on this BIPA teaching, and then the research shows that those who are coming to learn BIPA in our institutions are in need of learning the cultures as well. So this is why we provide materials concerning our cultures, our local cultures. So we provide material like wedding parties in Makassar, some culinaires, yeah, like Coto Makassar, how do you call it? In Praja, we have some festivals, cultural festival that they are interested to see, and we provide other materials in terms of cultures because they need to learn the cultures as well, and feel the need of BIPA instructors. universities can establish BIPA study program. This has been initially discussed with our faculties, faculty of languages literature in Parantambung in our faculty, but I don't know the progress, whether they have established or not. But in the meantime, the BIPA institutions, like our institutions, we can provide courses or short courses for BIPA teacher candidates, and we provided some strategies to teach BIPA in foreign countries, and then we have some from here. We have some, let's say, those we have endorsed some of them, and then they are sent to some countries. Some of them have been in Australia to teach the language. Some also go to Turkey. They also teach Bahasa Indonesia there. And we are grateful because we have provided the courses for them before, prior to their departures to go to teach BIPA in other countries. And yeah, because BIPA, we still have no, let's say, official curriculum for the teaching of BIPA. So each institution has its own curriculum. Our institutions here in University of State University of Makassar has also established a so-called curriculum framework, and then even we have prepared a course book, and then hopefully later on the book will be published, and then we can use it, let's say, at least in Makassar. And if there is opportunity, we can also send it to other institutions, other BIPA institutions around the world, to see whether this book can be used or as a complementary book for the students. BIPA program can be made online, actually. Yeah, so prospective students do not need to leave the countries or to their home country. They can still learn from there. But the fact shows us that they are eager to come to Indonesia. Those from other countries, they are eager to come to Indonesia to see, to experience directly how to learn bahasa and how to learn the culture in Indonesia. Even probably and hopefully next year, some diplomats from Australia will come to Makassar to learn bahasa Indonesia in our institutions. This is a great chance to serve them, because probably they will also have a chance to, let's say, maybe they will be posted in consulate Australia in Makassar. So and they need to come to our institutions to learn bahasa Indonesia in terms of probably they also to learn the cultures before they are running the job as diplomats. And I call it the epilogue or the closing, or maybe the conclusions. So when it comes to the situations where we have plenty of BIPA instructors or teachers fulfill the need of BIPA institutions, either in Indonesia or in other countries, we expect that Bahasa Indonesia will go international by itself. So more and more foreign citizens will learn Bahasa Indonesia and will have to be able to speak Bahasa Indonesia. And by having a growing numbers of speakers, Indonesian language will, by de facto, become the international language. So we don't need to argue anymore with the Malaysian people who are also willing to promote their language, the Malay language, to be the official language of ASEAN. Because by outnumbering the speakers of the Malay language, sooner or later, Malaysia will be more realistic to allow Bahasa Indonesia to be official language of ASEAN and maybe to be international language. So this is what I can say for today. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
All right. Yeah, thank you so much for the committee. And thank you so much for Dr. Iskandar, SPD, MED, and PhD. Now that we have our first speaker, and of course we got the enlightenment and of course great insightful from Dr. Iskandar. And now let's go to our next second speakers. Let me check first. For for Professor Rohana, are you with us? Yeah. Okay, I can see you. All right. Now let me introduce our second speaker first. I'm sorry, and yeah. All right, now we have our second speakers for today. There is Professor Dr. Haja Rohana, SPD, MPD. She is a professor at Universitas Negeri Makassar in education department and majoring in elementary. She teaches numerous subject in UNM. Now she also working as a head of laboratory of language at UNM. She researched and wrote some books and publications of scientific papers in national, international journals and proceedings. She obtained his PhD at Universitas Negeri Jakarta, while she also has been visiting scholars at Illinois University, USA, at the same period. And she has a dozen publications in reputed journals, including Scopus, indexed journals, and some of them have a patent status. Now, allow me to presenting our next speakers. All right, for Professor Rohana, you have about 20 until 25 minutes to presenting your materials. Yeah, is that clear? Okay. Okay, all right. Time is yours.
Okay. Bantu mama dulu.
Okay, wait a minute.
Yes, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yeah, I would like to say, I would like to say hello to all the speakers and all of the audience have joined this meeting. And then I would like to say hello to my family in Jakarta. This is the good chance for me to meet my sister from Jakarta. She joined in here. And then, okay, I would like to present with the title, The Challenges and Advantages of the Online Learning Post-COVID-19 Era. It is most challenge than in online learning during post-COVID era. The end of the 2019, the problem coronavirus causes global pandemic, the cause of the large number of the infectious case and the people over the world. This is a big problem for Indonesia and the world. The student outbreak, the pandemic disease, COVID-19 has totally changed the learning and the teaching system. The teaching and learning process, the big revolution and education is one the sector that have to have impact of this condition. The close of the school activities in Indonesia because the COVID-19 pandemic broke the spontaneous shift from the face-to-face learning to become online learning. This is case many indicators who complain about the limited availability. Technology means capability, operation, and limitation. This is the big problem for the world. The challenge learning implementation, there are the lack internet and electronic device. The biggest obstacle for the student learning from the home, especially the school, the pole of the life to remote areas. It is the lack internet access then electronic device. Is the big problem for the poor people in the village. They have lack internet and electronic device. And then the children are not even learning from the home because the economic tools of the pandemic have forced the former parents unless they have in the past. They can study well or learn well because they don't have spare time to study because they have they have parents in the bills. And then the teacher have challenge to use the technology in the learning, how to deliver good quality lesson to the student to the short limitation due to pandemic. Sometimes a teacher has lack to run about the technology. It is the challenge for the teacher. Parents too have to challenge because assisting the children with online learning, but they have not more time and they don't have knowledge about the electronic internet, especially about the internet. emergency curriculum. This is the big problem for the teacher, because this time they must making the emergency curriculum, and then learning implementation plans that must be simplified in order to make the student to understand quickly. And then they have a challenge to online learning too, online learning, face-to-face teaching, and the learning process must be turned to online system, which has the major impact to student, teacher, parents, and policymaker. They have a challenge to how to run about the electronic. And then the line online as Venetia. Venetia, it is a medicine for the education. Online learning become an alternative Venetia for the education system in the midst of the current pandemic situation. This activity must be cut out from the home, and the learning carried out by online. But technology can replace the role of the teacher, because the teacher have interaction between the student and the teacher. The learning interaction between student and teacher for recurring knowledge, values, cooperation, and student competence. It is important for the student how to increase their knowledge to use internet, but it is have disadvantages from them for the time. Process sometimes the assignment too heavy to time the short one, and then the student from the books. This is the teacher, and then the limit quota for the following online learning. Some students don't have personal device to. It is difficult to talking online action. This is the big problem in learning process during the COVID-19 era. How to the solution? The solution of this problem, Ministry of Education, Nadiem Anwar Makarim, following of the direction of the President Republik Indonesia Joko Widodo and the Vice President Republik Indonesia Ma'ruf Amin, to improve the quality of human resource. And then Nadiem Anwar Makarim set for my program to education policy. They are for freedom of learning or independent learning. This is have expectation about the innovation education to practice in the digital era to request innovation and creation. It is the hope. And then the government to prepare TV program. There are TV program, which means belajar di rumah, which means learning from home. This propose the children without access to internet, but with access to television. It is the solution. And then independent learning. Independent learning have a curriculum. The curriculum provides the flexibility for teacher to use the various teaching tools according to the needs and then characteristic of the student. And then another solution, the government asks educator who use the blended learning that combining classroom and distance learning can be implementation of blended learning. It is a shape of the character, the nouns of the learning will be more comfortable to the student discuss. The student can discuss with their friend, can discuss with their teacher, and then they can have discuss and sharing idea with their friends, and then study with outline classes. It is the hope shape the character of the student are brave, independent, clever, polite, and competent of the student. The Ministry of Education and Anwar Makarim, he has established for main programs for the learning independence education policy. There are the National Standard School Examination and the National Examination and the Learning Implementation Plan and zoning regulation of admission new student. This is the policy of the education learning independence. And the government to implement about the national examination in 2021 and 21, it will be changed to minimum competency assessment and character survey. It consists the ability, duration, using language literacy, and ability, duration using mathematics numbering, and strengthening the character education. Now, government to implementation about the literacy, numbering, and height of competition. And then government the implementation about the motivating teacher program atau guru penggerak ya, the motivating teacher to play more roles to product learning leaders who are be able to apply to concept independent learning and to realize student-centered education. It is the expectation for the actively the student learning because the student-centered education. And another solution, the government preparation about the professional teacher education. Professional teacher who carrying out their, that is to be able to demonstrate their abilities and then market by mastery of educational academic competence, and competence is substance according to scientific discipline. How the advantages on online learning. The advantages online learning, they are optimizing service, independent and flexible. Optimizing service technology is a tool for optimizing service, improve the quality of the student academic interaction by integrating technology. And then independence. The independence is benefit on online learning done anywhere and anytime, and learning can also to adjust to capacity to each student. Learning online learning also to priority student initiative and independence. The another advantage online learning, they are flexible. Flexible because online learning can save cost and the time, be more practical and flexible, more appreciate approach, personal, easy to document, environmentally friendly. This is the advantages online learning. We have another advantages of online learning. There are unlimited time, and then fun learning, and save times and money. Unlimited time online learning or this network academic interaction between the student and the teacher is not a limit time. It can be done 24 hours. It is good for the student, good for the teacher. It has beneficial. And then fun learning. Fun learning experience in media, photo, video, audio format, and more enjoyable learning experience. They can watching about the video and look the nice picture and etc. And then save time and money. Online learning only need to be connected to the screen and internet connection. It can save time and save money. It is very simple. Okay, I think that's all. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much for Professor Rohana for giving such an informative and comprehensive presentation for this session. Now, I would like to invite everyone who have a feedback or maybe a question. Please write it down, your questions, or maybe asking directly to our speaker for this session. Now, so ladies and gentlemen, so now we have Q&A sessions to open, and you can write it down your questions on the chat box below, and maybe you can raise your hand if you want to asking directly to the speakers. All right. Is there any question for our speakers? Yeah. Just simply put your questions on the chats if you don't want to asking directly, or maybe you can use Bahasa if you cannot use English, so we can help to deliver the questions to the speakers. Yeah, everyone. Oh, okay. I'll give a minute for the questions. Maybe you can write it down. Okay, while we wait the questions, I will remind for everyone, please fill the link for attendance the session 2, because we have different link for every session, right? Maybe I will share it again, the link for the attendance session 2. Oh, hi, Dr. Dixon Adam. Nice to meet you. Nice to have you here. All right. Yeah. If everyone who didn't fill the link for attendance yet, please click the link on the chat box below that I already sent. Yeah, you can fill the attendance there. Please put your name rightly. You know, like if you put maybe a wrong name, that your certificate got the wrong name. So please carefully to write your name and your title, and of course your email. Oh, for Professor Rohana, you can stop sharing your screen. Okay, wait a minute. All right, there is information about the certificate of this conference. The certificate will be directly sent to your email after you fill the attendance link, right? So please, I remind you once again to put your right name, yeah, full name with the right title and your email. So we can send it directly after this conference end. I think it has we have 3 days of work day to send you the certificate. If you didn't get that yet, maybe you can asking the committee on the Telegram group if you didn't get that yet. So yeah, we're really open for the information. All right. Is there any questions for the participant?
No questions. I expect that somebody will ask me how to become BIPA instructor. Actually.
All right. Yeah, I will please Dr. Iskandar for answer the question.
Yeah. For those who are interested in teaching Bahasa Indonesia for foreign learners, you can come to UPT Bahasa Universitas Negeri Makassar to apply for becoming the instructors. There are two possibilities. The first one is you can become the instructors in our institution itself, and there is also a possibility that you will be eligible to teach BIPA in foreign countries, especially when you are having a good command in English. Yeah, and I think there are many opportunities outside there. In Australia, every year they ask at least 4 teachers from Indonesia teach Bahasa Indonesia in Perth, Western Australia, for 1 year period. And this has been since years ago. And until now, they are still running because they have language institutions in Perth, Indonesian language institutions run by the Australian citizens, but supported by the Indonesian consulate. Yeah, we have a questions here in the chat box from Paturiski.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask, how do you see the current development of the needs of BIPA teachers, where universities provide training programs or courses? Have they been implemented and fulfilled? Well, for study program, for example, in our university, they have been initiating so-called program studi BIPA, but they are not running yet until now. But for the meantime, in our institutions, our UPT Bahasa, we have run courses on BIPA teachers, so on BIPA instructors. So we prepare them to be BIPA instructors, and later on when there is availability or there is opportunities to teach BIPA both in Indonesia or in other countries, we provide the information for them, and then we'll call them to fill in the applications, and then some of them have succeeded in making it through, so they are sent abroad to teach Bahasa Indonesia to foreigners, and some has come back and then had been telling us a good story about their experience when they are teaching Bahasa Indonesia in foreign countries. So I think the BIPA teachers doesn't mean that you have to be studying Bahasa Indonesia as Indonesian study program. So most of us can be BIPA instructors. So it doesn't have to be, I mean, the background should be from Bahasa Indonesia. No, even from the law, from other study program, especially in PSD, it's very good opportunity to become BIPA teachers as well, because you have experience and you have a great deal of knowledge about pedagogical knowledge on how to teach. So we just need to prepare you to, let's say, the materials that should be taught when you are teaching BIPA, because the material is a bit different from those taught in Indonesian study program, especially for the speaker of Indonesia themselves. We have another questions
we
from.
have another questions from Ermi Sola.
Yeah.
I think it's direct for Dr. Iskandar because it's about Australia. Assalamualaikum, Doctor. I'm interested in a program of teaching Bahasa Indonesia for a foreigner for 1 year in Australia. Is there any prerequisites, sir?
Say that the requisite actually is just that you need to have a good command in English, but it doesn't have to be highly command. At least you can communicate in English, and then every year the Australian will announce the admissions or the availability of the BIPA instructors for Indonesian. So you can apply, but if you haven't, let's say, you don't have a link to apply for that one, you can come to our office. We can help you apply for it. That case, we have the form, the available form, and then you can fill in. And then as soon as they announce that there is let's say some opportunities to teach there, we will inform you, and then you can send the application letter to them, and then we'll be let's say undertake some. It's not actually a test, it's just a bit like interview, how you have been prepared for teaching BIPA. Yeah, that's all.
Maybe Dr. Iskandar have a link that maybe you can share on us if you want to apply for the program.
We don't have the link right now because usually they ask or they announce that on June or July. So it's open now, but next year it should be on June or July. They will have the form. Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, maybe we have to wait about 7 months, right, to apply. So yeah, for Ermi Sola, you have to wait until 7 months for the next year. All right. I think I actually have I have questions actually for Professor Rohana, because Professor Rohana is talking about online learning, and most of the material is about regulations, right, that have a government share for us. And despite of all the challenges we have and the good impact of the online learning, you know that for maybe that you mentioned about the poor village, actually they cannot obtain maybe about maybe class because they cannot get for the internet maybe, or they didn't have any money to buy packet data like that. So you know actually this is linked with the poverty issues. You know, educations nowadays we can look frankly that educations nowadays in online learning is divided with the people who can use technology well and who didn't, right? So is there any regulations maybe or the strategy from the educators that can resolve this linkage of poverty issues? Yeah.
Okay, I will try to answer the question. More strategies for the government to give some problem, and then for example, they preparation about the belajar di rumah. It is the one solution how quota, and then the government give them some quota for the student and then for the teacher. For example, Universitas Negeri Makassar get it too for the mahasiswa, for the student, and then the poor to get it. this is the one of the solution for the poor people, how to minimize their how to minimize their problem. Okay. Another solution, for example, the teacher must be visiting the student and then teach them in the house when they have spare time. When they have spare time. This is I have experience for it. Sometimes I visit some student and then I give them some materials face to face when they have problem with the quota. And then more of the solution for the government to help the poor people, how to get knowledge, how to get how can they learn well by online. Okay, I think that's all for me.
All right. Thank you, Professor Rohana, for the answer. All right. So now, let me ask again. Oh, there is Erbisola for Dr. Iskandar. It means I can meet you in office at UNM, sir. However, I'm not a lecturer at UNM. Is that okay, sir?
Yeah, I have answered in the chat box.
Oh, okay. All right. Now, we have a summary for this session. Like Dr. Iskandar said before, nowadays Indonesia have a representative in more than 30 countries in the world, and Bahasa Indonesia has become exotic language to learn, especially when they approach about cultural. And there is BIPA for provide the strategies and solutions for the challenging to globalize the bahasa for the world. And for the Professor Rohana, we face the challenging as online learning, but despite of that, the government and the educators has built strategies to approach the challenging, and of course we have numerous good impact for online learning. There is we can have advantage on optimizing service, independency, more flexible, and of course we can save the resources like time and money. And yeah, that's all for the second session. Now I would like to thank you so much for all the speakers, Dr. Iskandar, SPD, MED, PhD, and Professor Rohana, SPD, MPD, for all the enlightenment and for the presentations you gave for us for today. Now, of course, we want to say thank you so much for all the participants who participate actively in a chat box, of course, and all the participants who observe. All right, now let me pass the floor to our MC. Yeah. So the last, thank you so much for me and for the committee of ICLCCE. And Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you very much for the moderator, Ms. Nurila Fitra Syamsuddin, SPD. Excellencies, participants, ladies and gentlemen, now we are in our last agenda. To close this conference, I have a quote by Mahatma Gandhi that live as if you were today tomorrow, as if you were to live forever. Okay, to all participants, for the certificate that will be sent to your email, so make sure that you will fill the correct email. So I'm Khafifa Darwis as a Master of Ceremony representing committee to say thank you very much for all excellency speakers, participants, team, ladies and gentlemen, to join in this conference. And we would like to apologize for the flow we have of this conference. May we can improve ourselves in future. I would like to inform for the participant who already applied for presenting their article. We're gonna invite you after this break room by the committee. Okay, before we close this seminar, ladies and gentlemen, please open your camera so we can take a picture together. Okay, to ladies and gentlemen, please open your camera so we can take a picture. Okay, thank you very much. Okay. I give it time to open your camera. Okay, thank you very much to open your camera. Okay. Okay, to participants who still not open the camera, I hope we can turn on your camera so we can take a picture of this conference international. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so we can take a picture for the first slide. Okay. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you very much. For second slide. 1, 2, 3. Okay. The next slide. We can take a picture again. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you very much. For the next slide. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you very much for all participants in international conference today. And all right, ladies and gentlemen, the last see you on next ICLLCE program. Good evening. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Saudari moderator, moderator, enggak ada sesi panel session? No.
Ada Pak.
There is, ya ada Pak. Di break room.
Oh, break dulu.
Ya, tidak ada nanti di bukan room, ini room utama. Di Zoom-nya nanti kita akan buat break room. Ya.
Dan diarahkan ke break room, Pak.
Iya, jadi tidak di close dulu ya, Pak ya. Nanti kita masukkan Bapak di break room-nya.
Oke, thank you very much.
Tidak bisa absen sensi saya tadi. Lupa tadi absen.
Saya bukan ada yang
Masih ada Pak, untuk aplikasi yang mau presentasi itu diarahkan ke break room-nya. Nanti diundang Bapaknya yang
Oh,
mau
yeah, yeah, right.
bergabung. Iya, ini
Right, right.
sementara diatur. Iya.
Okay, right, right. Thank you.
Absen untuk session 1 enggak bisa.
Tabe Bu, tidak bisa Mi diakses untuk absen yang session 1 karena sudah lewat waktunya. Ya.
Kan perhatikan tadi.
Oh,
Terlewat.
iya.
Oke, Adik, makasih.
Iya, absen sesi 3 ada juga. Wait, sorry. Jadi, please fill the link of attendances. And that's for link 3 for the panel session.
Excuse me, Ananda Nurila. Sudah ada beli apa? Break room-nya? Sudah ada?
Ya sudah ada Bu, sudah ada. Sebentar
Bapak.
lagi. Oh Bapak, oh ya maaf, Bapak. Ya, ya. Ini lagi di invite satu-satu Pak untuk masuk ke break room-nya.
Kalau bisa nak, kebetulan saya ini I am very busy. Kalau bisa orang pertama saya sajikan Profesor Hadis, Profesor Dr. Abdul Hadis MPD. Karena setelah ini ada acara aku lagi nak.
Oh iya, tapi saya kasih tahu dulu komite tadi Pak.
Iya. Profesor Dr. Haji Abdul Hadis MPD from Education Faculty UNM.
Iya, baik.
Oh ini join nih, Hotima inviting join room 2.
Iya, tapi untuk semua aplikans yang ada permintaan untuk join ke room, nah silakan ditekan join untuk masuk ke break room-nya ya. Untuk absensi sesi 3 nanti insya Allah akan di-share di chat box-nya. Jadi mohon bersabar, insya Allah nanti akan dikirimkan sama panitia.